I'm the founder and CEO of the travel service, TripMyDream, and also a blogger. And I lead the company Viasat for 10 years in Ukraine. Overall, I'm just a person who really loves life. About 7 years ago, when I didn't understand marketing at all, I was at some email marketing conference with my current partner, Taras. Roman Rybalchenko was speaking so confidently in the hall. No one had taken a selfie with him yet, but many had already approached with questions, and he was answering them. So when I had a question about wanting to learn analytics, for some reason, the first person who came to mind was Roman. I wrote to him, and he replied to me in a month or two. He was somewhere in Bali. And I was surprised. Dear Andrei, hello, I'm very sorry, so-and-so. Anyway, after a couple of months, Roman returned to Ukraine, and for several months taught analytics to two of my teams, Viasat and TripMyDream, and mentored Taras and me.
Here's the story. I know that 50% of my advertising budget is wasted. The only problem is I don't know which 50% exactly. I believe that if you cannot measure something in our time of digitalization, online marketing, and online commerce business, like the conversion of a button, customer acquisition cost, customer return cost, LTV per customer. In short, knowing the margin for each button on your website, your app, and so on.
And at the moment when I turned to Roma, I basically knew all this very poorly, because studying analytics on your own nowadays is not so easy. You need someone to move you forward. That's why, besides, we approached several questions. The first question was about deeper analytics training. This is specifically about Google Analytics and the overall approach to analytics. The second is the setup of advanced commerce analytics for the company TripMyDream. We did it. Yes, it was difficult because our model doesn't assume that we sell ourselves. Our partners sell through certain deep links, and they transmit sales data through Google Analytics or through other platforms. This needs to be matched through internal analytics and passed to the GA. Thus, there are many opportunities we call problems opportunities. And third, I wanted to set up a specific analytics process in my team, which in principle we started doing from that moment. Roma began to teach us and help us, and we started a process of analytics within the team. And back then, basically, we were just beginning to try something in e-commerce in Ukraine. The second thing happened that Roman's wife, Olga, a wonderful, beautiful girl, a kind-hearted girl, is knowledgeable in email marketing. So we immediately moved on to her helping us set up marketing automation, and she conducted an audit. Here, and maybe the automation we did with her worked smoothly for about a year. Now we have already restructured it ourselves, but at that time it worked for a long time and we were satisfied. Of course, even though it's a small boutique agency that handles your tasks, you always need to ping any agency, but it's pleasant to ping these guys, and they receive these pings normally, not aggressively. That's why we worked on these tasks, as far as I remember. The training that Roma conducted for us was insanely expensive initially, so it's an insanely expensive story. I don't regret that we paid the money, but I think that trainings cost a lot. So nowadays you can find them cheaper, but we took it as two corporations, so that's probably what it's worth. If you're taking it as face-to-face mentorship for yourself, then I think the price could drop significantly. How much is it on the market? I have no idea. There are so many people now teaching successful success, analytical analytics, and salesmanship. So I haven't approached others yet. There are many such specialists, but unfortunately, it turns out that I still can't find a good analyst for my team. Have you watched the series Billions? No? Then it's hard to understand. There's one character you know with a very short haircut who asks questions. In our world, when there are billions of answers, when you actually have billions of data, we have 1.5 million visits to the site. We have from 1 to 1.5 million searches per month. We have large groups, different people come and go. So there's a lot of data, airline tickets, companies, what prices they search for. The most important thing in this is to ask the right questions, because there are countless answers. One must learn to ask the right questions. That's the first key. The second is having the necessary tools to work with these questions and extract answers from them. That's it. Two things. To ask competent questions, you need to understand business logic as well. Many analysts have a screw loose to understand why this is needed, to think deeper, rise higher, and look at the funnel from above, a bit wider funnel, at a much wider funnel. Any agency should look at three things as with any service. First is the cost. Second is the quality of work. Third is the time. In your case, at the time we were working, I would focus on time. Your cost is reasonable. The quality of service is more than satisfactory. I'm satisfied with the quality of services. However, with timing, sometimes you take a long time. Sometimes you need to be pinged to get into your priority. Recommendations? First, I'm already recommending you. If someone asks me, I say that you taught me back in the day. Secondly, the main thing is that I don't speak negatively about you. Believe me, these days with so many agencies out there, not getting negative feedback is already a win. This alone is worth it. In our time, when the black mirror is everywhere, when a single Facebook post can ruin a person, can ruin a business, when a good person can be made a public enemy literally in 1 or 2 days, it's better not to have negative recommendations.